The purpose of our stream today is around trying to show you guys how I use the rune optimizing tool. SWOP, Summoner's War Optimizer. This goes credit to Xandro, who is the creator of this amazing tool. At first, I was kind of hesitant of using it because I wasn't too sure about the security around it. But I noticed a lot of people were using it, and I've been using it for probably over a year now. It's been working great for me. I use it mainly for my rune management at first, to help me track where I've put certain runes. As my monster box got bigger and bigger, I started really relying on it to help me rebuild my unit, my accounts. My account. Well, I've done it for accounts before, but mainly for my main account. So what this allows you to do is essentially it allows you to work on rebuilding your account prior to free rune removal day. I know a lot of people can't actually utilize free rune removal day because they may be working on weekends, they may have plans. You may not have the time to really sit down and re-rune your entire account. Therefore, you may end up with open you know, units that aren't fully ruined. You may end up with units that aren't ready for use. You know, you end up messing up your account. You go, damn, I've really ruined my account this free rune removal day. So you can usually skip all that heartache if you plan maybe a week in advance or a few days in advance. Spend a few hours using the tool to be able to help you rebuild your account. So then all you really need to do is use the tool on free rune removal day to move your runes around, because you know exactly where those runes are and where they need to go. So what you really need to do, there's a couple steps what you need to do. Step one is download the tools. You need to download Summoner's War Exporter, which is the tool you need to do to be able to get the JSON file. The JSON file is essentially your data file of your account. I think from what I've read somewhere, don't quote me on this, supposedly it doesn't contain your login information or any of that sort of data. Which is why people were concerned in the first place that, hey, if they can get my account information, does that mean they can get my login data as well, details as well? From what people have dug into the code, supposedly it doesn't pull that out, or it doesn't pull out your actual account information, account data, as in your monsters, your runes, and so on. And what it does is it translates that into a tool which allows you to list all your monsters and all your runes, and then throw those runes onto your monsters. What it then allows you to do is be able to lock those runes onto a specific monster, so that when you're building other units, it's not picking up those runes if you choose it not to. It's a pretty powerful tool, and it does save a lot of heartache on free rune removal day should you do it appropriately. Step two is around using the tool to be able to really target what you really want to focus on for that month. The reason why I break it up into monthly blocks is because obviously you get one free rune removal day a month, but also it gives you something that you really want to aim for at the end of that month. So what do you really want to achieve at the end of that month? How do you want to see your account improve in that month? For early gamers, that might be, hey, I want to really focus my best runes on my giants team so I can farm a lot of giants faster than I'm doing it right now. For mid gamers, it could be, hey, I want to transition from giants to dragons, but I want to see how fast I can push my account to. If you're late game, it could be, okay, this is what I did last RTA season. This is what worked and this is what didn't. How can I change my account to be able to work for me in the upcoming season? Or what do I think is going to really make me stand out this season compared to what I did last season? What I'm doing at the moment, or what I've already started doing on my account, is I've already started trying to tweak what I want to do for RTA in the upcoming season. I've had a really hard think about what really worked and what didn't. I've already started working on units that I didn't really rely on too much last season. And I'm prioritizing some of them because I saw where I could have really used some of these units. I'm not going to go into too much detail of that just yet, but I'll talk about that at a different time, not this current stream or this video. What I'm going to show you guys is essentially just a demonstration of how to go ahead and go through the rune optimizing tool, what you can use it for, what I personally use it for. This isn't going to be a comprehensive tutorial because I don't know every single bit of the optimizer. I just have a basic use of it or basic understanding of it. But the main purpose is to show you guys how I use it. If I miss anything, please mention it in the comments or please mention it in chat as we go through it. And we can cover off anything that we need to. Okay. After this Dragon's Run, we'll jump into how you can download it, the exporter and the tool itself. There is an online version of the actual tool. I don't use that, but there's a website link. We can look that up. But yeah, that's all we really want to cover off today. So after this Dragon's Run, we're gonna flick across through to the download links. I'll run you through what you need to do high level to be able to use or to be able to get a copy of your JSON, but I'm not gonna show it on stream because I don't want to accidentally expose anything on my mobile that I shouldn't be, just for privacy reasons. So here we go. What I'll do is I will now hide. I will hide the game, and we'll capture my Chrome browser. So I've searched for Summoner's War exporter, right? What you need to do is you need to go into this link. This is the GitHub link that is set under Xandro. Xandro is the creator of the tool. If you scroll down, you'll see Summoner's War exporter. This is what it looks like on the main screen. You'll see that it's got an IP address, a port, and it tells you to start or stop proxy. Okay. So the way you download it is by clicking where it says go to the latest release. If you go into it, it'll tell you 0.0.23 is the latest as of the 2nd of October 2018. And then pick what's going to suit your computer. Just download the setup files. That's what I usually do. And pick if you're 32-bit or 64-bit. This is a massive shout out to Xandro. If you guys want to support him, guys, I think he does have a link in the optimizer tool to, I think, his Patreon and how you can donate to him through PayPal. Amazing tool. Definitely support the guy. He does a great job. All right, I'm gonna go back to this exporter tool screen, okay? Because this is a prime example of what we need to pull up, okay? So this exporter screen here will tell you this is the IP address, this is the port. What does this mean? This is what you need to set up on your phone as a proxy setting when you're running the game to be able to download your JSON file. So the best way to do it, okay, what you need to do is before logging into Summoner's War, you load up the exporter tool. What you got to do then is you got to load up your device to the same Wi-Fi network as the computer that you're using this tool on, right? That's step one. Step two is ensuring that you hit that, where it says stop proxy, it's usually start proxy. When you click that start proxy, it changes the number to the details to stop proxy. What you need to then do is you need to go onto your phone and change your Wi-Fi settings. Make it a manual sort of configuration where you can set a proxy and you enter the details, your IP address and the port. When you do that, then you open up the game. As the game opens up, you'll see that once the proxy is running, it'll say now listening on port 8080. The moment you like to log into the game and it says click here to start, you click here to start, it'll go to your island. As all that happens, you'll see that it will actually download a copy of your JSON file and it'll save it to wherever you set it up in here in the settings. So go through the settings, pick a file directory location that works for you, and you'll find it in that folder. Okay? So that's one thing you need to do. There's another tool you need to do, which is the actual exporter tool. So, the actual optimizing tool. So step 2, you need to download the optimizer. So I use the Windows 10 version, which is actually in the App Store. Now, if you have a Windows 10 device, you can actually download it straight from there. So check it out that way. Just download this and then go from there. Okay? If you don't have Windows 10, you'll have to probably use the online tool. I don't know too much more about that, but I just rely on the Windows app. Okay? That's where I got my tool from. Alright, I see Decasai say in chat, some people might need port 8082. 8080, sometimes it's getting blocked from OS firewalls. Okay, so you'll see in here, the box is white. You can actually change that field, I believe. So you can make that whatever you want it to be. Correct me if I'm wrong in that as well, guys, because I've never had to change it from 8080. 8080 has worked for me before. Okay. So that's a tool from that perspective so far, right? So what you do is, right, you open up the optimizer once you've downloaded it. And this is the screen you end up going to, okay? You end up at this home screen. So as you can see, yeah, he's got his donation link up here. He's got his Patreon link up here as well. It takes you to a location. It takes you to the front screen, which is like, okay, well, now you need to actually load your data file, right? So all you do is you go pick a file, find the file location. So here's the stream example that I created. Hit that, and then what you want to do is just hit import. What this does is you'll see that it'll import a number of runes and a number of monsters. So that's the total number of monsters I have, including storage monsters. I had 953 runes in total. Yes, that's actually not too much, is it? Anyway, once it's done, it'll load that data. It'll say that it's total imported and total blah, 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 whatever information it needs. So what you can do is you can start flicking through runes, which will have all your runes listed out here. It'll actually go all the way through, and it's got 10 items per page. So it'll list it all out for you. In here, you've got you can grindstones. I don't really use this tab too much. It shows you what grindstones and gems you've got in your box. It's got a list of all your monsters and their current rune builds. So it tells you what level, their current stats all the way through, effective HP and average effective percentage in terms of runes. And then if it's got runes, it's got the green tick. The lock symbol means if the runes are locked on a unit. If it's unlocked, obviously the runes aren't locked. And then it's got specific actions. You can actually delete specific monsters. You can check damage calculations to, you know, what it does is it actually works it out based on the multipliers. So this actually has all the multipliers for each of the units within the tool. So you can calculate and see if the damage is what you want it to be. And then the last tool is essentially to build that unit as well. So you can go building the unit from this screen here, or you can just go into the optimizing section and use the drop down menu. Okay, so this is the main screen that I usually use. So drop down menu allows you to pick the units. Autofill allows you to pick what their current rune sets are. It just comes up with their current build. So Theomars will say Violent Revenge, and he's on speed, crit damage, attack. Okay, so usually these sets and focus and filters are areas that you fill out to be able to start building your units, but we'll go in more detail on that in a minute. Priority list. So what you can do with priority list, I haven't really used this too much. Honestly, I don't feel like the priority list is something that I would focus too much on. I feel like it's a bit overkill for me personally. I would actually just use the optimizer for basic use. Well, that's what I use it for, which is me just building specific units and then building my dungeon teams afterwards. So I'm not going to be able to cover this part of the tool off if that's what you're looking for, because I don't necessarily use it at all. I haven't used it at all. I do use the speed tuning one to ensure my units are speed tuned in multiple places. So he actually allows 6 monsters to go in here for you to be able to see if they are actually speed tuned. Should you have to use a specific number of units in a specific combination. So that does not mean you can only go, okay, for Guild Wars I only get 3 monsters. It means you can put your Guild Wars plus Arena plus Dungeon monsters all together. It allows you to even build your raid teams together here if you wanted to speed tune specifically. It allows you to build your specific Labyrinth teams as well. Yeah, Dekasai, sorry man, I just read your comment. We're not going to be able to use the lab. We won't be talking too much about priority lists today, unfortunately. Compare, I don't really use compare too often, to be honest. And that's about it, really. So if I was to, let's say, I wanted to rebuild Theomars, right? So my Theomars right now is on Violent Revenge, and I go, well, actually, I want to use him a bit more in RTA, so I'm going to make him Violent Will, because I don't want him to get reset first turn or get stunned up by Okeanos or Hathor or whatever it may be. So I'm going to make him Violent Will just to give him a bit more security. Okay? There are options on the side here that you need to pay particular attention to. If you tick the box where it says use locked runes, obviously means it's going to use any runes that you've already locked as part of the process. Ignore locked runes even if you clicked on this monster. So it means that you can, you know, you can actually use the runes that are locked on this monster should you want to. Use only runes from inventory. Now that's a big tick the box right here. It means that it won't use any runes that are on your current units essentially. So I usually untick that box, because I'm essentially building my unit from my account from scratch and not just from runes that are in my storage. And it says max plus 12 on slots 1, 3, 5. I don't usually use this again because I usually use either the actual stats or plus 15 down here, which we'll talk about it again when we go through it. Use only 6-star runes for slot 2s, 4, 6. Again, I don't really worry too much about that. I just want to prioritize the best runes that I've got. And then you can ignore runes and higher priority monsters and force these to be included in builds as well, which is down here. Include specific runes and groups and whatnot, or you can exclude. It's really up to you how you want to approach it. So in the case of my Theomars, if I was to rebuild him, I would want to go Violent Will. I wouldn't change his build too much. I'm happy with speed, crit damage, attack, right? So what I can do is look over here on the side. It shows you my current Theomar stats, right? I'm exposing my Theomars that I use on defense. I can actually focus on specific stats I want to build. So focus is essentially a tool which allows you to, as the program scans through your runes, it prioritizes what you're looking for. So usually on Theomars, I would want to prioritize my speed, my attack, my crit rate, my crit damage, and a little bit of HP, right? Now you've got little filters down here which allow you to allocate what sort of focus priority gets as well. So honestly for me, it would be speed, crit rate, it'll be attack a little bit, so I'm gonna go attack up to like 1.4, crit damage probably 1.2, and HP probably just down to 1. HP is not too much of a priority. Then I want to set like a benchmark for minimum stats that I'm after, right? So for RTA, I probably want him to be about 215. Probably want him about 22,000 HP. I want him to have about 80 crit rate. And crit damage, I'd say 150 is actually okay for me. Attack wise, he's currently on 2,000. I'd like to see if I can push that up to 2,200. Okay, search step 10. So the search steps allows you to determine how deep is it going to search into your runes in terms of quality. So right now, search depth of 10, it comes up with an estimated number of builds of about 492,800. So I'm actually going to change this to about 15, and you'll see that number changes quite significantly. Goes to 2.352 million. If I actually change that to like 20, you should see that go over 10 million now. Not quite. If I go 25, I think that's going to be over 10 million builds. There you go. You don't want to really search over 10 million builds. Depending on how powerful your computer is, will determine how quick and how deep you can actually search. So usually I cap mine out around that 3 to 4 mil mark. So I'm going to search depth around 18. It's probably still too high. I think 15 was around that 2.5 mil. So I'm going to go with this and go search depth of 15. So I'm just going to start searching. So you'll see it calculated 700,000 builds. And see right now, it found no builds that I could use. Which is pretty sad, right? Plus 15, can I find any builds? Unfortunately, you can't find any builds at that, right? Which is telling me maybe I'm trying to push my luck on some of these stats. Which is going to be a lot of the times, you want to go for your ideal stats first. It may not find it in particular. So what I'm actually going to do here is I'm actually going to drop his crit rate down to 75 and see if I get any builds. Here we go. Now we're starting to get some hits. So you'll see we've got 2 hits, 700,000 builds calculated, and this is the best it can get on speed, crit damage, attack. So as you can see, these are the only 2 builds I'll go if I went Violent Will. Berkey, thank you for that host, man. I hope you had a good stream. We're just currently working through a rune optimization tool demonstration, and so people get an idea about how I approach free rune removal day in advance. So we're just showing an example of how we're reruning Theomars from Violent Revenge to Violent Will, if we were to do this. So you can see it only gave me 3 builds, right? Sorry, 2 builds versus the current build. So what I want to do is maybe I want to go... Okay, let's keep this top one, right? This top one looks pretty nice. But is it the most optimum one? I mean, it's got more HP. Let's go with the top one. All right, so let's... what you can do is you can do this thing called stat comparison. You can actually pin this, and it saves it up here. And go, okay, well, look, that's what Violent Will got me. What about if I drop my... What about if I kept my crit rate at 80? But I drop my attack down to 2100. Does that allow me to get any more builds? Because I'm worried about not critting units on defense or on offense. Unfortunately, attack of 2100 still seems a little bit too high for my account. So we'll have to drop that down. Maybe we'll drop our HP down to 21,000 as well. Did we get any hits? There we go. We got 1 hit. 2 hits. There we go. We got 2 hits here. So we've got 21,500 HP, 2,200 attack, 83 crit rate, 153. This top one looks pretty solid. So let's have a look at this one as well. Okay. All right. So the next thing that we could do with the tool is go, okay, what about if we just wanted to go an absolute, just a glass cannon sort of TMR. So we're going to reduce the HP down to 18,000. We still want to maintain at least these sort of stats, right? But we want to get this attack up to 2,200. Is that more capable with my rune quality? Let's have a look. Oh my god, wait, hold on. I typed 22,000. Epic fail moment of the stream. Let's try it again. 2,200. So we're getting a few more hits this time. And here you go. So you can also sort by rune efficiency, which is your highest effective efficiency of each, the average efficiency of each rune. You'll see that this top build is actually the same one we've already got up here. So yeah, looking at each of these, like you can actually go ahead and have a look and go, okay, well, what's the best suited one for me? I think looking at these, honestly, I feel like if I compare the top two, there's really not much difference, except this one's got a lot more HP. Really not much more attack. It's got 3 more speed. But we're at the cost of 8 crit rate. We're losing 8 crit rate here. On a unit like Theomars, I wouldn't be too worried personally. So I'd probably still go with the top build as the one I would want to build. So if I click this will then show you, okay, these are the runes that you picked that you want to put onto your Theomars and where they're coming from. So it'll go through and it'll go, your slot 1 will rune has come from Perna. Your slot 2 will rune has come from Vanessa. Slot 3 from Diana, and so on, right? If I was happy with this build, I would click on equip and lock runes. But I go, hey, wait. I really use my Perna in a lot of places, my Vanessa in a lot of places, my Diana in a lot of places. Do I really want to break these units? Probably not. 85 crit rate is like 100% for Theomars, correct, because of his passive. That is right, Meteor Storms. So me at 75 means he's at 90% crit rate, right? So I'm already concerned because I'm breaking a lot of my key units. So what I'm going to do is I go, okay, wait, hold on. There is something in this tool here that allow me actually blocking units from getting their runes stolen. Right, so I can go through and I can go, okay, I don't want Perna's runes to get stolen, so I can tick this box here. I can lock my Perna, right? And therefore, my Theomars cannot steal those runes. So I would go back to this build, and you'll see if I reround this, we probably won't find any builds. See, there you go, no builds. And the reason for that is because these current stats are heavily reliant on stealing runes from my Perna. Okay? So I'm gonna unlock that because I want to give you guys another example, right? I was very specific from the get-go, right? If you're not too specific, right? If I get rid of just the speed component, look what happens. I end up with a lot more builds. So it's like, okay. Oh, but wait, these are all like 209 speed. And 201 speed, 201, 190. You know, it's not too much. If I go 215, if I got rid of the HP focus here, does that help me find more builds? There you go. So we dropped HP as a function for us to search. And that allows us to find a few more builds. That is because right now, HP isn't our main priority. We really want to focus on the attack. So if we can hit that attack target, then we'll be able to get what we need. But again, the reason why we found these builds again is because we actually allowed us to be able to steal runes off Perna. So that's why we were able to find some more builds. That Perna slot one really makes it easy. Alright, so usually my approach for free rune removal day is, because currently I rune for RTA, right? So my first thing is I want to really just focus my runes on my RTA units. And I want to see if my current RTA units that I mainly use can get rune upgrades. So I would go firstly into Molong, right? Molong, who doesn't like using Molong? Speed, HP, HP. My focus on him is speed, HP, defense, and accuracy. So this gets a bit more of a priority. Accuracy doesn't get any priority. I still want it to have about 55 accuracy. I want it to have about 40,000 HP. Well, look, 39,000. See if I can get it better. And right now he's on 252 speed. So I want to see if I can get him any faster, right? So this is his current stats. Let's see if I can get him any faster than what he currently is. Hey Rob, how are you, bud? Okay. So as you can see, he's currently got the best or the highest rune efficiency I can give him. If I filtered by effective HP, you'll see I can get more HP at a lot less attack, a lot less defense in my opinion, more accuracy, more crit rate. So I mean, overall he does get a little bit tanky. We're talking about 2,000 effective HP, but look at the cost of the attack and the defense. It just doesn't weigh up, right? For a gain of 1.3k HP. So yeah. So I would be happy just to go back and go, okay, I want to lock my Molong's runes. So I'll just go here, click on Molong and go, yeah, I want to save Molong's runes as it is, right? Okay, so we're happy with Molong. Next unit I use a lot would be, let's say Perna in this example, right? My Perna is going to pop up Violent Will. Oh, I didn't even click it. Hold on. Perna. Violent Will, speed, crit damage, attack. I'm going to keep it the same, right? I can see his stats on the side here. And I go, well, look, my Perna's actually got a lot of HP right now. I'm going to lower the HP requirement. 25,000. I want the attack to be a little bit higher, so let's get 2,200. Crit rate of 80. I want the crit rate a little bit higher at 150. His speed's 222. He can actually work at 220 for me, so I'm going to go with 220. Let's prioritize attack, crit rate, speed, and crit damage, right? Search depth of 15. Now we can bump that up to about 18. We wanted to focus on attack, crit rate, speed, and crit damage. Yeah, I think that's about right. Let's prioritize. Yeah, I think that's fine. Let's go with that. So as you can see, it takes a lot longer when you have a lot more calculated builds. So can I get these stats in my Perna? That is the real question. Unfortunately not. So what we're going to have to do here is probably going to lower this focus on speed. Because the main focus now is really around crit rate. Let's see if that helps at all. Okay, so it's not finding any builds for me, unfortunately. So what we're gonna do is, let's see if it's because we don't have a HP focus. Let's see if that helps. Rob's asking chat, does this actually swap the runes over? Though, no Rob, this does not actually access your account at all. It is just an extract of your account. So if you wanted to make rune changes, this will only guide you about where those runes are located and where you'd have to actually be able to make how you'd be able to make those changes. So it doesn't tell you, it doesn't just go, okay, this is how we're going to build your account. So submit it to wherever the server is located and updates your account for you, because that's technically breaking your account. You know, it means a program is essentially doing it for you. This is just telling you how, it gives you guidance about where your runes are located. So I wonder if it's because I'm asking for a lot of crit rate. Let me just drop that down. I want to even drop down my attack as well. You got Perna locked at the moment? No, I've got him unlocked. So as you can see, it still runs in the background for you. All I've got is Mo Long locked at the moment. So we're going to go based on rune efficiency first to see what my best runes are for it. You'll see that I've got 98.76 efficiency on this set here, which is 27,000 HP, 2,100 attack, a higher defense, 221 speed, 92 crit rate, and the crit damage is 140. I'm actually not too happy with that, so I'm going to go with damage and see what damage shows me. Damage will essentially show you the rawest output you can get. So I'm going to sort based on this. There's a settings field over here. The cog, if you click that, it allows you to build or search the damage based on parts that or his skills that you want to prioritize building it on. So for Perna, I want to just go with his Flame Nova, right? So it gives you his multipliers. I want to go with maximum skill ups. So I'm just going with, I'm just going to click on max. I want to use my buildings to help calculate. I'm gonna use buildings to help me calculate it, and then I'm gonna use crit as well as another calculation. Okay. And then all you do is hit apply, and it's gonna rerun it based on those factors. Lucky, later this week, can you help me set it up? Sure. It's pretty straightforward. If you watch the start of this video, you'll be able to set it up, Rob. It's pretty straightforward. What app is this, Crambarino? This is Summoner's War, the optimizer tool. We ran through it at the start of the stream. I'll run through it again in about when we finish off the first part of the tutorial, and I'll do a recap and show you guys how you can download it again, okay? So as you can see, I filtered again for damage. It says 1945 is the best build, 2.3k attack, 221 speed, 83 crit, 140 crit damage. This is saying this is the most damage I'll be able to get output with my Perna. Asking with these minimum requirements. So if I click on this, it goes, okay, I'm still in room from better, that's fine. Vanessa, Perna, Diana, Shiner. And as you can see, I can probably grind more speed here. It actually identifies where you can get, where you can grind. The triangles show where you've got grinds, like grindstones that you could still grind into these stats. So it's telling me I can still grind there and so on, right? So that's what I can do with my Perna. Alright, so what you do is you go through this tool and you start runing each unit the way you want to rune it, and you start locking them. Now make that sound like it's very easy, but it's not. It comes down to your rune depth and what you're really looking for your account to do. Now, when you're really early game to mid game, just know that your rune depth isn't going to be quite there. So you really need to think hard. What do I need to prioritize? Which is why I always say, don't think about this on free rune removal day. Start thinking about this in advance and think about it and go, what am I going to do next month? What do I really want to prioritize? And then start building your account that way. Early to mid gamers honestly should be focusing, in my opinion, on building a really solid dungeon team, just one, and potentially an R5 team if you got the rune capabilities to do that without detrimenting doing your TOAs, doing your guild wars, and still having a decent defense, right? If it's affecting a lot of those areas, you really need to decide, okay, maybe I'm not quite there to build everything. Maybe I just need to give my best 5 units that I use for giants and speed run it for a month and go at 1 minute runs instead of running at 2.5 minutes here, running a really slow dragon team at 4 minutes, and then, you know, going, oh, I want to worry about it next month because, you know, it's not the end of the world for me. If you rune appropriately, think about it this way, right? If you can cut your giants team down to a minute instead of just doing your 2.5 minutes, you are saving, what is it? You're going at, man, I had to make a half of myself, didn't I? You know, you're saving, how much time are you saving? You're saving a fair bit of time, right? You're saving 1.5 minutes per run. That's already a lot. You're saving more than, you can do 2 runs in that time. Give or take the time it takes for you to restart runs. With that being said, that means you can almost technically farm twice as many runes in the same amount of time if you were to just focus on that. If you think about it that way, if you only keep 4 or 5 runes a month right now, it means you can potentially keep 10 runes for next month. I say only that much because I'm quite picky when it comes to runes, right? I'm not too sure if everyone's like that either. But it means it gives you something that you can aim for in terms of building a faster team to be able to farm dungeons more effectively. Now, if you're late game, then this tool will help you manage your runes a lot better. It'll tell you which runes you've got. You can actually filter here. I'm gonna expose my HP subs because I don't want to expose my speed subs because they're terrible. I'm gonna filter for HP here. Oh my god, I just exposed my speed subs. My HP subs here. And as you can see, it shows you what you've got as your HP subs and how much it's been grinded for. As you can see, Delphoy's Swift one was only grinded for 4%, but it's a 34% rune pre-grinds, but now it's 38%. You can go through and have a look, and I go, shit, hold on, wait, I've got an inventory rune right now. I'm sorry, rune in inventory right now. This 32% HP rune. It is a slot 3 shield rune, legend type quality, and efficiency of only 88.69, which is pretty bad. It's got innate crit damage of 7. I can go, oh, okay, wait, hold on. The game that's telling me that's in my inventory, right? So I'll go through here and go, here's my shield, slot 3 HP of 32. Here it is. We found the rune. And I can go through here and I go, do I have a grind? Oh my god, I can drop a HP percentage grind to really help my unit out. If I wanted to do that, this is what I would do. But I think about it, I go, that's a really efficient grind to drop on a rune that hasn't rolled too efficiently for me. But I go, well, maybe I can still use this on a unit. I can get up 10 speed, 42 HP. It's got nice resistance. It's got max resistance. Maybe I can grind out this flat HP for maybe more flat HP or maybe even defense percentage. So you can think about it that way as well. I'm going to flick back to the other screen. It helps you. I used to initially just use it for this part of the tool specifically to help me look for where my runes were. What haven't I grinded that I've got grinds for that could really use it the most? And I go through this list and I go, okay, well, where else have I got ungrinded runes? I think you can filter for ungrinded runes here. Grindable, here you go. Substats, and I want to just filter on HP percentage. Well, it's telling me that this is all my grindable ones. Maybe I need to take that out and go. I mean, I'm not too sure about this party. I'm kind of going on the fly here. But as you can see, I've got a few HP percentage grinds that I haven't grinded. So you can go through and have a look at your runes. Maybe you go, oh yeah, wait, hold on. I want to just focus on my violent ones. I got a decent violent grind come up. So I'm going to go through my sets and pick violence. And I want to go, okay, let's pick my most efficient runes. Let's filter by efficiency. But I want to focus on my HP subs here. And I go, okay, well, my most efficient rune is this Legend Violent rune, which is only 91.76%. So sad. But hey, I can put more HP here. But do I really want to? It's only got 4 speed. This one's got 12 speed, 10 accuracy. As you can see, it's pretty bad. But you can actually go through and figure out where is my most efficient violent runes. And go that way. Okay? So that's how I pretty much use it, right? I go through each unit. I start rebuilding every single unit. I do this a lot in advance, at least a week in advance, and I go, RTA units is what I'm going to focus on today. I'm going to take a break. Tomorrow, I'm going to start re-runing my R5 team because I want to run 2 teams at sub 2 minutes next time. And then I go, okay, well, what else am I going to farm up there? Maybe I'll do dungeons. Okay, I'll farm my dungeons team and make sure that's 100%. Hey, maybe I can build twins now because I want to overlap them in Giants, Dragons, and Necro. I've got the Water Twin set. They work in Giants, Dragons, and Necro. Let's build them. Shiner's an obvious build as well. I'm already using Colleen in Raid, so I can use Colleen in Necro. You know, I'm using Galleon in some of my PvP content. Oh, wow, I totally skipped my PvP. So I would actually do RTA, then my Guild War defense, then my Guild War offenses for both Guild War offenses for both Siege and normal Guild Wars. At the same time, I'd also do my Siege defenses. Then I would probably go on to PvE content. So it usually goes, for me, RTA, Guild content, then it goes into R5 / Dragons or Necro, whatever dungeon I want to do, and then anything else after that. Like if I'm building specific units I want to try out as a backup just in case, and then I just go world boss runes. So I just start runing all my water 6-star units that are max skilled, and then I just essentially look at the type of monster it is. If it's an attack based monster, I put triple attack and with my highest efficiency runes and give it to that unit. And that's why you can see my Tyrone's built like this. He's got crit damage because I think I ran out of runes on him, but he's got attack, crit damage, attack. It's really weird stats, and you can see that way. It's really weird. Other units I built that way would be Tractor. Tractor's like defense, defense, attack. He's a defense-based unit. I ran out of slot 6 defense runes at that point in time. What other water units have I got? Oh shit, well you guys couldn't even see the screen. What a fail. Tyrone, attack, crit damage, attack. Tractor, defense, defense, attack. Anyway, that's a quick glance. But this is what I start doing with all my spare runes. I start putting on a water units. What else did I build? I built a Malacca for fun. Speed, attack, attack. He does not even speed tune to my Sierra. I think I built Lumi. Yeah, as you can see, Lumi's on triple HP. Or no, triple HP defense. I think Talc has got runes. He's on HP defense. Not even max slot 6s. One of my Tarks is on spare runes. I think this one here. He's on attack, crit damage, attack. As you can see, really spare runes. Rena's got a few runes. And that's the way I go ahead and rune my account. So hopefully that all makes sense. Does anyone in chat have any questions about anything I've gone through? One thing I actually didn't talk about is how the speed tuning tool works. So I'll show you how that part works now actually. So speed tuning, if I wanted to make sure, what would be a good example? If I wanted to make sure my Vanessa moved before my Perna, I'll pick both of the units here. If I click use leader, it'll allow you to see when your units are outspeeding one another, right? So based on me clicking using speed lead or without speed lead, it is saying my Perna is still slower than my Vanessa, which means I've got it tuned pretty well. Because no matter what, if I want to run Vanessa speed lead, I want to ensure my Perna is still slower than Vanessa, so I can use the Vanessa armor break to nuke your target with Perna. What else can I say? Okay, look, a prime example where I know my team messes up at the moment is when I use Tessarion. Ideally, I want my Tessarion to move first, so I want my Tessarion to go... before my Vanessa. And it goes, hold on, wait, you're too fast to be in this slot. So you need to rerun your account to be able to get through that. So it says for me, right now my Tessarion's 223. Optimum speed's 221, but it says right now speed in game's 227. So what I want to do is see what I can play around with to get the combat speed higher than 276. So my speed in game, let's say it's going to be 226. Makes it 274, still too slow. So I need to go to 228 maybe. There you go, 228 means same speed. So picking order will determine what will work. So for me to be safe, my Tessarion needs to be 229. If I wanted to use Tessarion, I'd have to run him at 229 speed to ensure he goes first and he oblivions the target, hopefully armor breaks, and Vanessa nukes it. Or Perna nukes it. Let's say Vanessa wasn't in the picture, right? And it was Tessa, Perna. For me to be an optimum speed for against Perna, I'd probably say it's about 278, right? So let's go 278. 228. Not 278. No, slower. 226. There you go. Probably 226 or 225. There you go. 225. Without the speed lead, though. Just remember, guys, you can also change the level of your speed tower in here. So you can make it more accurate to what you're currently at with your speed tower. I would almost recommend leaving it 15%. And so at least you can work at the highest percentage possible. And I would always recommend picking your highest speed lead that you're going to potentially use these units with. So as you can see right now, my Perna is now, with the Vanessa speed lead, too fast for my Tessarion. So Tessa probably has to be like 227 where I had it before. No, same speed determines it, so 228. So now it's the same speed as my Vanessa at 228. So you got to keep all that in mind, how tightly ruined your units are and where you put them. So hopefully that makes sense so far, guys. That is the speed tuning part of the tool. If anyone doesn't have any summoners or related questions, I think we'll just do a high level recap on the tool itself and how you can get it. And we will go from there. Okay, so give me a sec. I'm going to pull the summoners wall screen back up. Open up few things. We'll just do a high level recap. I closed the Play Store link. So what we covered off today was how you can get the optimizer, my approach to using the optimizer, and how I use the tool. Okay, so step one is downloading the tool. This is a massive shout out to Xandro for creating such an amazing tool and keeping it updated for so long. He updates it with all the multipliers, he updates it with all the new units, and he keeps it more relevant as much as he can. So he's updated it to allow 6 unit spots for speed tuning, for Labby, for running it for Raid 5, for running it in other content. You can mix up to 6 units if you want to. So that's amazing how he does such a hard amount, like a lot of work around it. So anyway, let's go back and look at the links, right? So if I click this, oh wait, sorry, I might have actually closed the actual page. One sec, let me actually see. Yeah, I closed the summoners wall link. Okay. Does it help with tuning with speed tuning with attack bar increasing skills like Bastet? It sure does. So I use it all the time to check that as well. So I can show you that in progress. So let me go ahead and show you that first before we go through and show you guys how you can download the tool again. Okay, that's a really good question. Thank you for asking that, Redneck. So if I go back to the tool, and if I go into speed tuning, I want to make sure my Peace Armor, and you'll see my Peace Armor right now is on spare runes. My Bastet, and I got 3 Lushens, but I want Lushen 1, are speed tuned. So as you can see right now, using this lineup, for me to be at the optimum speed with Bastet's at 266. It says that my minimum speed for Sarmath is 216. But right now he's at 165. So what do I need to do? I need to get his speed up to 216. So what that means is I need to get that to 216, which means 264 speed tuning. Avid, thank you for the raid, dude. Welcome to the stream. And then for my Lushen to be speed tuned, right now Lushen 1 is at 140 speed. He needs to be at 213. So I need to re-rune my Lushen to 213 speed for it to be speed tuned to my Bastet minimum. So usually you'd probably want to go 2 or 3 higher than that for you to be able to make sure you're speed synced and nothing can cut you in between. The more speed over that minimal speed requirement is ideal because you do have Nemesis that could kick in. That would be the ideal approach you could take. Okay? So that's honestly what I would do. Does anyone else have any other questions?